Why couldn't the kid go see the new movie that just came out? Because it was rated R. No? Okay, that's fine. Today is another book recommendations. Highly requested. Today is going to be about pirates. Hopefully we're not here forever. I have a lot to recommend, so I'm going to be as fast as I can. So shiver me timbers, let's get started. If you click this video, there's no way that I would ever believe that you have not seen Pirates of the Caribbean, because it's Pirates of the Caribbean. So my first recommendation is going to be the Jack Sparrow Kid books by Rob Kidd. These are basically the prequel story to Jack Sparrow as he was growing up as a teenager, and they're delightful. They're so small. They're perfect for your little brother, little sister, or for you if you love Pirates of the Caribbean and you haven't read this. If you're a Pirates of the Caribbean fan, there's also The Price of Freedom by A.C. Crispin, which is a giant prequel story on how Jack Sparrow became a pirate. And I have the book, but my partner Albert is currently borrowing the book. He's been borrowing it for over a year now, and he's only maybe 100 or 200 pages into the book, so this is an incentive to you if you're watching this. Please continue reading 5 pages a day. Next, I have Vampirates by Justin Somper. This is again another series. The cover says it's totally original. Why is it original? Because it's about vampires and pirates. Vampires and pirates together in a book series. It's wonderful. It's such a fun, unique series, and I think it's such a blast. If you love a good, action adventure story, Vampirates is something you need to check out. Death Hulk by Matthew Sprange. Now, I just talked about vampire pirates. Well, this one is zombie pirates, folks. There's so many weird pirate books out there, but this is zombie pirates. And if you're into zombies, if that's your thing and you want to give pirates a chance, well, maybe this is for you, because I don't know, zombies on a pirate ship, it's kind of cool, kind of weird, kind of stupid, but I'm here for it. I have to mention a Peter Pan retelling, and for this one, I'm gonna go with Peter and the Starcatchers by Dave Barry and Ridley Pearson. This is really fun, really whimsical, and just a delight of a read. I had such a blast when I first read this. I have not continued on with the series, and I don't know why, but this is the first book in a series that I really want to continue reading someday, but it's so much fun, and if you love Peter Pan, then I highly recommend that you check this out. Next, I have Black Hearts by Nicole Casterman, and the sequel, which is Black Souls. I just finished reading this last night. This is a young adult duology that is a prequel story to Blackbeard the pirate. I want people to go into this knowing what they're gonna get, because it's not very dark and gritty as you would think Blackbeard would be. It's more of a young adult romance sort of book, so just know it's heavy on the romance. But what I do like about this book is that it deals with slavery. I don't want to say it deals with it really well, but it brings it to light and gives you a lot of information on what people went through during this time, and the second book especially, so I highly recommend this series because of that. Pirate Alley by Stephen Koontz is actually a pirate book that's almost modern day, because it's about a cruise ship in today's time that is overtaken by modern day pirates, by Somali pirates. These pirates give people a ransom, for the ship, because if they're not paid, then everyone's gonna die on the ship and whatnot. So it's very action adventure in that way. We have a lot of police and whatnot that get involved trying to save these people, and the pirates in this book are crazy. They're terrifying. So go into this knowing that it's more of a survival story against these pirates. People are trying to survive while pirates are just killing people. So yep. Bloody Jack, being an account of the curious adventures of Mary Jackie Faber, Ship's Boy by L.A. Meyer. This is a pirate story that's really fun because it's that Mulan twist where you have this girl that decides to go onto this pirate ship, but she's a girl, she can't be a pirate, so she dresses up as a boy. And that's all I can really tell you. I've only ever read the first book. This is a very long series. I have the rest of the books. I haven't continued on because I'm terrible with book series, but this first one was such a good read. It was so engrossing and fun. There's also a slight romance, so if that's your thing, maybe you'll like it. And then we have the amazing, the great, the classic Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. This is the classic pirate book that if you're ever gonna read, please read Treasure Island, because it's about Captain Flint, Jim Hawkins, finding a treasure. It's so good. Please read this if you haven't. And then I have The Ghost in the Noonday Sun by Sid Fleischmann, and this one was a surprise. I picked this one up very randomly, but this is about a young boy that can see ghosts, and then a pirate finds out about this boy, abducts him, brings him onto his ship, and uses the boy to go and find this dead pirate that has a treasure. So it's a treasure hunting story, but we have this boy that can see ghosts, and they're trying to find ghosts, they're trying to find treasure, and it's a blast of a time. I highly recommend it. This book is really, really cool. It's called Pirates and Ghosts Short Stories. I believe this is a collection that you can find maybe at Barnes & Noble. I'm not sure because it's a gift, but this is basically a giant short story collection of pirate short stories and ghost short stories, and it's so good because there's a lot of classics in here, stories that you've never heard of, and a lot of these are really haunting and creepy. And then also there are excerpts of, I believe, Treasure Island and other books that if you're not really sure if you want to read, you might be able to get a glimpse of the books first in here and then decide later on if you want to pick up those books. So I highly recommend this. It's a gorgeous book too, so it would look really pretty on your bookshelf. I have 2 books in the Rogue Elegance trilogy by K.A. Dowling, and that is The Changing Tide and The Forbidden City. This is a really, really good young adult book series. It follows this seaside kingdom where we have this corrupt king who has the high society and the lower class kind of cut off from one another. There's almost a rebellion that's sort of stirring up, and then pirates come into the mix to help our main character. It's a great time. They're so good. If you enjoy young adult, I would highly recommend these. 7 Dead Pirates by Linda Bailey, a ghost story. This is such a delight. This is one of the most delightful books you'll ever read. This is about 2 kids that move into their grandfather's mansion shortly after he passes away. His mansion is on a little seaside coast, and our main character Lewis, once he moves into his bedroom, he finds out that his room is haunted by 7 dead pirates, and the 7 dead pirates convince Lewis that he has to help them find their ship and get them back to their boat. There's just so many cute moments in this book that have stayed with me since I've read this, and I really, really recommend this if you want a cute pirate book. The Pirate Hunter, The True Story of Captain Kidd by Richard Zacks. This is a nonfiction, and I should be recommending more nonfiction to you, but alas, I haven't read many of my nonfiction pirate books. But this one is really interesting because it takes the story of Captain Kidd, who many would think is a pirate to be feared of and whatnot, and probably should be, but at the same time, it's really interesting because this book kind of takes what you would know about a pirate and kind of flips it on you and really shows you that what you think you know about history is actually false, and that this person might actually be completely different from what you had thought they were, and maybe is not as much of a terrible person as you would think, perhaps, maybe, possibly. But yeah, it's really, really good. If you want a good nonfiction book about pirates, I would recommend this one. And then I have one of my favorites. I have 2 editions of this book because I loved it so much. The first that I read when I was a kid got so damaged, and then I got a new hardcover edition. This is Ghost Ship by an author whose name I can't pronounce, so I'll have it in the description. But this is a fun middle grade story about, again, a seaside town, and we have 2 kids that we follow, our main characters, and they end up exploring this ghost ship that just ends up on the beach one day. The water recedes, there's a ship there, they go on the ship, there's ghosts, and an adventure ensues, and I'm not going to tell you anything more, but it's such a great story. It's just one of those stories that's always stayed with me since I was a kid, and I'm never going to forget it, and I'm always going to go back to reread it every once in a while because it just makes me happy. And then I have The Pirate Captain, Chronicles of a Legend by Carrie Lynn. This book is huge. This is a book about the pirate Nathaniel Blackthorne. It is fiction, so it's a fun adventure story, but this is, I think, the one pirate book that I've read that makes me feel the most reminiscent of Pirates of the Caribbean. Our main pirate that we follow is very Jack Sparrow, if you know what I mean, and I say that in a good way because I'm not saying that this book copies Pirates of the Caribbean, but the feeling and the adventure and just the way it just brings you along into the story is very Pirates of the Caribbean. So I highly recommend this if you want, you know, something very Pirates of the Caribbean, rock and roll pirate-esque sort of story. This is really, really good. And the last book that I want to recommend is actually the first pirate book that I ever picked up as a kid, and that is Pirates by Celia Rhys. Now this is a pirate story, again following 2 girls that try to escape onto a pirate ship, and one of our girls is trying to escape a marriage that she doesn't want to be any part of, and then our other main character that we follow is trying to escape a plantation. She is trying to escape slavery, and so it's a beautiful story in that way because it's about these women that are trying to escape the bounds of what they're supposed to be in during this time, and they're trying to escape that and to live their own life. And I love the story. I will forever go back to this story because it's just one that always, you know, has a special place in my heart. And I think if you're getting into pirates for the first time, I would recommend this just because, well, it's called Pirates, so you should read it. And that is it. Those are all the pirate books that I'm going to be recommending to you today. I'll probably have a part 2 in the future, to be honest, because I love pirate books and I'll probably forever read them. So look forward to that. If you have any recommendations for pirate books yourselves, please let me know because I love these books so much. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye.